Most adventurers tread safe paths, guided by what's meta, what's safe. They follow the tier lists, the trends, the builds that everyone plays. But you're different. You forge your own way, carving through darkness, with a sight that defines convention, embracing risk and mystery. Welcome to the off-meta masterpiece, the Harvest Lich, a path chosen by the fearless for those who thrive on the extraordinary. I still remember that breaking point. Another echo, another death. My potions were dry, my mana was empty, and here I was, kiting rares and bosses like they were IRS agents.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
For a moment I would feel like I had control, like the build was holding together. Then, it would all collapse into chaos again. The screens will flash red, and I will be face down, watching my fragile pride shatter in real time. Every death chipped away at my confidence, and every echo felt heavier than the last. Locked around 100 corruption, every step felt like a punch in the gut. My health kept vanishing before I could react. Damage? Barely existent. The respawn screen? At this point we were on first name basis.
Wow!
I started questioning everything. Was it me? Was it the build? Or was it simply skill issue? But I refused to quit. I refused to follow the herd back to the tier list. So I got obsessed, I got stubborn, and I got precise. I tore everything down and rebuilt it piece by piece. Gear, skills, passives, endlessly tweaked modifiers like a mad scientist on the verge of a breakthrough. Then came that moment. A corruption 164 boss stood before me. The flashbacks of previous defeats stormed my mind like a relentless storm. But this time, it wasn't panic. It was poetic. Every moment of past failure became fuel for this one flawless execution. It wasn't a desperate scramble. It was my symphony of annihilation. My sight carved through its health bar like silk. I could face tank pretty much anything thrown at me without breaking a sweat. The response screen? It forgot my name entirely. The boss, however, oh, you will remember. That was my rebirth, from fragile to fearless, from questioning my build to realizing something special was born out of this madness. And by the end of this guide, you'll have everything you need to do the same, to break through your wall and carve your own legacy. Your engine of destruction runs on synergy. Harvest is the core of this build. Every swing isn't just an attack, it's an investment into your next crit. Every hit stacks crit multiplier via Spectral Whetstone, while Symbol of Loss ensures that when your critical lands, it absolutely blows anything foolish enough to stand in your way. Bone Curse is the hidden blade woven into your offense. Applied automatically through cursed limbs, it acts as an amplifier for your critical hits. The synergy becomes lethal when stacked with your passive crit scaling. It's persistent and punishing. Reaper Form is your second life, like literally. It gives you access to massive leash, bonus flat damage, and a badass form that thrives in sustained engagements. While others panic when their health dips, you lean into the chaos, knowing that each hit restores your vitality. This is what makes face tanking even higher corruption bosses not just viable, but satisfying. Aura of Decay may look dangerous at first glance, but for a Lich, it's a gift. Constantly applying Armor Shred while boosting your poison resistance, it creates a zone of death around you where enemies simply decay by existing near you. Combined with your natural leech and war generation, it allows you to stand firm among hordes while their very existence fade away. Death Seal is your final word in any encounter. When activated, it slams the door shut on your enemy's survival. While inside Death Seal, your defenses are massively boosted, your damage ramps up dramatically, and Harvest becomes a true executioner's blade. The synergy between Death Seal's bonus necrotic damage and Harvest crit scaling creates explosive burst potential that wipes even high corruption bosses before they can react. From your passive tree, power nodes like Soul Maw deliver absurd leech on crit, while Dance with Death makes sure that even near-death experiences only fuel your damage further. Each additional passive chosen isn't filler, it's part of the machine, creating a build that's not just strong, it's gracefully ruthless. Before you start each fight, you prep your stage of destruction. Aura of Decay becomes your invisible armor shred aura, weakening everything that dares to get close. Since the aura persists after activation, here's the slick part. Toggle it on, swap it off your skill bar, and slot in Transplant to rocket across maps like a necrotic teleporting shadow. Once activated, this persists across echoes, a permanent passive death cloud following you. With the battlefield primed, Reaper Form becomes your transformation sequence. You don't just enter the fight, you arrive like the final boss. Massive Lich kicks in, your damage scales higher, and visually, you turn into a death avatar. You open with Bone Curse on the first pack, snapping their defenses and ramping up your crit potential instantly. Then comes the signature moment, Death Seal dropping like a guillotine. Your defenses spike, your damage explodes, and now, every swing of Harvest is no longer an attack, it's an execution. Crits erupt like scripted fireworks, deleting packs and bosses with ease. Every Harvest autocasts Bone Curse for 3 seconds, chaining the damage loop without interruption. You flow from pack to pack like a conductor directing a symphony of annihilation. Keep your potions flowing between engagements to sustain Reaper Form. The longer you stay moving, the longer you stay invincible. The best in-slot weapon for this build is Death's Embrace. Its high base damage paired with Harvest scaling allows even modest crit multipliers to hit like a truck. Omnis wrap up your entire defensive suite into one item. Complete resistant capping across all elements, letting you pour resources into offense without compromising survivability. Titan's Heart and Decayed Skull transforms you into a juggernaut. With huge health boost, armor and damage mitigation baked directly into your chest is the reason you can comfortably stand toe-to-toe with high corruption bosses. Red rings act as flexible fortifications. They round out your resistances and add crucial defense layers while allowing you to target highly synergistic idols or prefixes on the rest of your gear. Finally, Brewmaster's Belt, Foot of the Mountain, and Ambitions of an Erased Acolyte pushes your endurance threshold to absurd levels, creating a bottomless safety net during your burst windows. Together, this gear isn't just optimized, it creates a harmony of offense and defense where every piece actively amplifies the other. Off-meta isn't just a build choice, it's an identity. It's where creativity lives, where you bend the rules, and where you make the rules. This Harvest Lich doesn't follow a tier list, it rewrites it. I mean, look at these echoes. What once felt like an unbreakable wall at 100 corruption, now it's a warm-up set. The enemies don't just die, they get erased, their existence shredded in a crit stacking symphony. This, my friend, is the soul of off-meta. Visionaries, theorycrafters, and rebels who refuse to color inside the lines. Huge shout out to my off-meta warriors out there who dare to color outside the lines, pushing boundaries, breaking the meta, and fueling the community with every bold experiment. Each attempt makes us stronger, more creative, and one step closer to rewriting what's possible. If you've tried this build, tell me your corruption levels in the comments. Got a wild twist? Or cooked up a different off-meta beast? I would love to see it. Smash that subscribe button if you enjoyed this off-meta build, and as always, stay stylish, stay untouchable, and may your crits always be juicy.